Colton Reeves had agreed to watch his uncle's remote farm for 1 week, just 7 days of feeding livestock, checking fences, and keeping the old property from collapsing in on itself. It was supposed to be quiet, almost peaceful, a break from the noise of the city. But on his first night, long before he understood the danger that waited for him in the fields, he felt something was wrong. The silence wasn't natural. It pressed against the windows, thick and suffocating, like the land itself was holding its breath. He tried to sleep, but the walls kept creaking with a strange rhythm, almost as if someone moved just outside his bedroom door, pacing up and down the hall. Each time Colton shot up in bed, the sound stopped instantly, replaced by that unnatural quiet. By morning, he convinced himself the old house was simply adjusting to cold November air. That illusion didn't last. The following afternoon, he walked past the cornfield and saw a perfect circle carved into the stalks area where every plant had snapped at the base and lay flattened in a spiral pattern. No wind could do that. No animal either. The dirt at the center was charred black, and when he knelt to touch it, the ground vibrated faintly, as if something far below shifted in its sleep. A headache pulsed behind his eyes. He left the field and closed the gate behind him, but the uneasy feeling stayed lodged deep in his stomach. Later that night, he heard knocking, 3 slow knocks on the back door, then silence. Colton approached cautiously. The porch light flickered, casting sharp shadows across the yard. When he opened the door, nobody stood there. Only a long trail of muddy prints led back toward the cornfield, prints shaped like bare human feet, except each toe was disturbingly long, and the arch too flat, too wide, as if whatever made them had only recently learned to walk upright. He locked every window, every door, but it didn't matter. The knocks came again, this time from the roof. By the third night, he was exhausted, jumpy, barely functional. The livestock bleated nervously anytime he went near them, pressing themselves into the far corners of their pens. Even the barn cats had disappeared. Something was claiming the property piece by piece. Shortly after midnight, the lights in the farmhouse went out. He scrambled for a flashlight and swept the beam across the living room. Dust drifted in the air like falling ash. Behind him, the floorboards groaned one long, heavy step. Then another. He spun around but saw nothing except darkness stretching down the hallway. Something whispered his name. He didn't wait. He ran outside, breath condensing in white bursts, and tried to start his truck. The engine turned but failed. The second attempt died faster than the first. Colton slammed his fist against the steering wheel and stared toward the cornfield. The stalks swayed in a slow circle, though there was no wind. A pale figure stepped out from between the rows. At first, he thought it was a woman, thin, tall, wearing something white, but the shape was wrong. Its limbs were too long, bending in curves that defied anatomy. Its head tilted with a painful crack, as if adjusting itself to be seen. Eyes reflected the moon like polished glass. A faint sound drifted from it, rhythmic and low, like breathing mixed with distant humming. Colton stumbled backward and sprinted toward the barn, the only building besides the house with a lock. He bolted the door and hid behind a stack of hay bales, clinging to the silence. Minutes passed with agonizing slowness. Then the humming started again inside the barn. The thing hadn't opened the door. It simply appeared. Its glowing eyes floated between the rafters before the rest of its form slid downward, unfolding like wet cloth, clinging to an invisible frame. It watched him, studied him. He felt his thoughts tugged forward, pulled by something ancient and hungry. His body refused to move. He could only witness as it approached. The creature lowered its head until their faces nearly touched. Its breath smelled like damp earth and decay. A cold wave crashed through him, and the barn dissolved from view. He saw visions, flashes of others who had been taken from farms, forests, highways. People erased without a trace, their memories swallowed, their lives woven into the creature's hollow existence. It wanted him next. Colton tried to scream, to run, to fight, but his voice and strength vanished beneath the overwhelming pressure in his mind. The thing reached out and pressed one elongated finger against his chest. He felt his heartbeat slow, then stop, then resume. but not at his command. The creature absorbed him, his shape, his memories, his mannerisms, until he was nothing but a faint echo dissolving in the dark. When the barn door finally swung open at dawn, a figure stepped out wearing Colton's clothes, Colton's face, Colton's walk, but his eyes were wrong. Glassy. Perfectly still. The locals would later swear they saw him driving the truck down the long dirt road at sunrise, heading toward town. But when his family called the authorities that evening, reporting that Colton Reeves hadn't checked in for days, the search turned up nothing. No body. No signs of struggle. Only the flattened circle in the cornfield freshly burned, and a trail of bare footprints leading into the mountains where the search dogs refused to go. Thanks for watching. Is there anything you'd like to see in a short horror story? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe.